everyone. It's about 150 degrees, so we're going to try to keep this short and sweet for you. Welcome. So happy to have you here. My name is Wendy Saunders, and I am the Executive Director of the Capital Area Development Authority, and also of the Capital Area Community Development Corporation, which in partnership with Cyrus Giuseppe is building this project. So I want to give a shout out and ask our partner, Cyrus, sorry to bother you, to wave. Thank you for your leadership, your mentorship, and your friendship. This is the third project that we're undertaking with Cyrus, and I'll tell you, 3 for 3 is what I'm thinking, right? So we're really happy to be here today with no intended offense to our general contractor, Tricorp, who is also here in number. Financing affordable housing is more challenging than building it, and it takes at least twice as long. So after our lengthy endeavor to secure financing, we really felt like we deserved to celebrate. And after this very difficult year, we couldn't resist having an in-person event. So nice to see people in the flesh. And I'll tell you, some of you, this is the first time I met a council member in the flesh. And I'm not sure if she looks exactly the same on Zoom, so we'll figure that out. Sonrisa is going to be a 58 micro-unit project located on this very tiny infill site. It is truly going to be a transit-oriented development located in the heart of Central City, just a few blocks from the state capitol, within walking distance to the 16th Street and Archives Plaza, public transit stations. And the building will have no parking. It will be equipped with a secure bike facility, sidewalk parking on the sidewalks, transit passes for all the residents. Do we have anybody from RT here that I can say hey to and thank you? They've been a great partner. And dedicated zip car space in the front of the building. Sonrisa will be constructed of cross-laminated timber, which is a sustainable building resource for those of you who aren't familiar. It's a really, not only is it sustainable and from renewable wood, but it's also stunningly beautiful. So it's an element that we're looking forward to. Most importantly, Sonrisa is going to be affordable to low and very low income households. And we all know that we cannot get enough affordable housing, especially in our challenged state of California. Construction starts next week, and it's going to take about 18 months, so please mark your calendars for November 2022, when I plan to have you all back here again, and actually show you how the Murphy beds work, so it's going to be fun. My organization is fortunate to have a board of directors that's completely focused on our mission, which is to provide housing for all housing types within the capital area, and to make sure this neighborhood is walkable, sustainable, clean, safe, and vibrant. So I'd like to introduce the members of my board to whom I'm totally grateful. And if you could stand as I introduce you, my 2 members appointed by the state of California are long-serving board chair Em Bailey, our city appointees Emily Bain Michaels and Randall Winston, and our board appointed member Bob Marcino. As I mentioned, financing these projects is no joke. And we wouldn't be celebrating today unless we had the full support of the state of California. First, from Governor Newsom, who signed an executive order in 2019 that calls for use of underutilized state-owned property for development of affordable housing. And honestly, when we read that executive order, it was kind of music to our ears. This is what we've been doing for years, and to have that level of policy support is just thrilling. We're extremely proud to be the first project to break ground under that executive order. And I'm really very pleased to introduce, representing the governor today, Secretary Lourdes Castro Ramirez. Secretary Ramirez is Secretary of the California Business, Consumer Services and Housing Agency. She oversees currently 11, soon to be 12 state departments, is responsible for expanding affordable housing, developing comprehensive solutions to end homelessness, protecting consumers, and guarding Californian civil rights. Quite a portfolio. Secretary Ramirez worked in the Obama administration, and she was president of the San Antonio Housing Authority and served as director of the LA City Housing Authority. She was appointed by the governor in March of 2020. Please welcome, join me in welcoming Secretary Ramirez.
Well, I am so glad that I wore sunscreen this morning. The sun's nice and bright. Good morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be with you all today. As Wendy mentioned, I'm Ramirez, and I have the great honor of serving as California's secretary over the office and the agency that oversees licensing across the state, that oversees guarding civil rights protections, particularly in employment and housing across the state, and very importantly to all of us, that oversees all of the coordination and investments that are focused on expanding housing affordability and working collectively and together with local communities to address homelessness. And so today I'm just delighted to join you all for this celebration. As Wendy mentioned, the first groundbreaking in a state excess site, nearly 2 years after the governor issued the executive order calling for really a focus on how to leverage the state's underutilized lands to address something that we all know is important and significant to all of us. I'd like to start off with acknowledging a few key members that are with us, and of course want to acknowledge Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela, who I just had an opportunity to meet, and we were both commenting on how maybe we should not have worn jackets. Great to meet you, Councilwoman. Also, I'd like to acknowledge our Deputy Secretary for Housing for the state, Lynn Von Koch-Reber. If you can please stand to be recognized. Deputy Secretary for Communications for BCSH, Russ Heinrich. There he goes, right to the right. Of course, we have a number of members from our really amazing Housing and Community Development Department, starting with Director Gustavo Velasquez, who you will hear from in just a moment. And then our partners from the Department of General Services within the state family, who really have been partners in this effort with all of us. So on behalf of Governor Newsom, who couldn't be here today, but he knows that this event is happening, he sends greetings and congratulations. He is so proud to see that we're breaking ground on this site. As Wendy mentioned, the location of this site is ideal for the families and the individuals that are going to have an opportunity to call this place home. It's a walkable neighborhood. It is a neighborhood that truly has cohesion, and this project will be sort of integrated right into the fabric of this overall community. And I just want to spend just a couple of minutes tracing sort of the history that led us to this point, because I think it's important just to acknowledge how we got here. So on January the 7th of 2019, just a week and a day after being sworn into office, the governor issued his 6th executive order, and the first executive order with a focus on housing. In it, he directed the Housing and Community Development Department, along with the Department of General Services, to prioritize excess state properties and to aggressively pursue building sustainable, innovative, and cost-effective housing projects on those properties. I'm happy to say, as I mentioned, just 2 years later, we're breaking ground here in the state capitol with the first of its kind, and a true sort of testament to the power of leadership and also to the power of collaboration, because getting to this point, assembling all the financing, requires, as Wendy mentioned, a lot of hard work, because we know that the financing is, critical to the long-term sustainability. From the beginning of his administration, the governor has made housing his top priority, from expanding housing and services for people experiencing homelessness, to preserving and producing affordable places to live, to helping families buy their first home. we're laser focused on this. And I'm excited that just about 2 weeks ago, the governor is again doubling down on his commitment as he rolled out the California Comeback Plan, which speaks to investing in a historic way in accelerating and expanding affordable housing. He has proposed $9.3 billion for the preservation and expansion of housing affordability across the state. He has focused on building on this model and the success of bringing people together at the local level, including building on the success of our Home Key initiative, which I think many of you know was the first of its kind in the state at this large scale, where we were able to partner with local communities to purchase hotels, and vacant buildings and turn them into permanent housing in a very short period of time, in a 6-month period, leveraging funding from the federal government plus philanthropy, close to $846 million. So we are not losing momentum here. We are staying committed and very much laser focused on continuing to do all that we can to address this issue that we know prevents many families, right, from being able to have the quality of life and to be able to reach their potential. I'm a true believer that housing is fundamental to everything that we do. Without stable, affordable housing, it's very difficult, right, for us to be able to reach our potential. And so to CADA and to all of the partners that have made this project and this community that we hopefully will be back here in a year and a half or so to do the ribbon cutting for, I say to all of you, thank you for partnering with the state. Thank you for working hard to bring many more partners together to provide a place for individuals and families to be able to call home, a place that's affordable, a place that also meets our collective goals of climate, housing, and transportation, and a place that people can call home. So congratulations, Wendy, to you, to your board, and to all of the partners that are here today. Thank you.
Secretary, and you mentioned DGS, and I just want to underscore what an important partner they have been to us. Jason Kenny, who's here today, Jim Martone, who couldn't make it, but who's our go-to guy, and you guys have all been so wonderful, so thank you very much. California Department of Housing and Community Development is providing this project with a $10 million loan. The project has a budget of about $20 million, so it's very obvious without the support of HCD, we'd be nowhere in terms of financing. So I'm really thrilled to have the director of HCD here today to share a few remarks. Gustavo Velasquez was appointed by Governor Newsom as Director of Housing and Community Development Department in May of 2020, and he administers a wide range of programs that produce, preserve, and protect affordable housing. Before his arrival in California, Velasquez worked as a senior director at the Urban Institute, and also in the Obama administration as a HUD deputy secretary. Additionally, he worked under the administrations of DC mayors Williams, Fenty, and Gray. Please join me in welcoming HCD Director Gustavo Velasquez. And as I welcome you, Director, I want to just point out your team, Jim Claybaugh and Dwight Matthews, have been just unbelievably helpful and such really fun. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. So I did take my jacket off. Echoing what the Secretary said, I'm so pleased to be here on behalf of the Governor and the State of California. I want to congratulate you, Wendy, your board, all the partners. I see a lot of partners here that have been instrumental in getting this project to this very special day. Look forward in the next few minutes to be a part of this ceremony. I also want to thank the council member, Katie Valenzuela, for being here, the rest of the council, Mayor Steinberg, for the great leadership and the partnership, always a strong partnership between the city of Sacramento and the state. I was actually talking to the council member about this unbelievable leadership that Sacramento is playing in affordable housing. Recently, as you probably heard, the city really wants to move in the direction of opening up zoning across the city, not just for one single-family home, big lots, but really opening up for much greater density and affordable housing opportunities, and certainly leading the way in the state, for sure. So, shortly after that announcement, I saw a few other places, Berkeley, San Jose, kind of addressing the same concerns. There are not a lot of cities doing that across the country, so it's extremely innovative, and it really shows the leadership in the council and with the mayor around affordable housing. Very quickly, I know it's hot, so I just want to say why, at least 3 reasons why this project is so critically important for us, the Department of Housing in the state, and for the landscape of affordable housing. First, as the Secretary mentioned, yes, it is the first project in California to break ground under the governor's signature excess state size program. Governor Newsom came into office, and we all know he's a big housing governor. He came with ambitious goals to increase the production, preservation, and production of affordable housing at the state. And he himself came up with this idea. We have so much state-owned land that is unused. Why don't we use it for affordable housing? And so it is just incredibly important that we'll move with the executive order, and how appropriate is that this very first project to break ground is only a stone throw away from the Capitol. Not my arm. I never played baseball, but certainly it really is so close, and just it symbolizes, I think, incredibly important how critical is that this project is here in this neighborhood, so close to the state capitol under this executive order. And I want to also echo the partnership with DGS, Jason Kenny, so important. This could not be happening without this strong partnership between the Department of General Services and HCD, and of course my team. I see Zach Olmsted, Sasha Witowski. If you all want to do more things in affordable housing, just hang out around the table when the event is done, and you'll get a lot done. Also, I want to say, as Wendy mentioned, it is the first time we at HCD have contributed funding to an exercise, of course the first one, affordable housing property, and that is thanks to our TOD, our Transit-Oriented Development Program, and I see Craig Shield there, who manages that program. So obviously it's incredibly important not only to celebrate this site as a state excess land, but also have funding behind it when to make facilitate really the construction of these units. And third, perfect fit for those of limited incomes who will be living here. Of course, we're pleased that the funding can be used to upgrade the 13th Street Light Rail station, which connects affordable housing with our state environmental and transportation goals. I always say, seeing the brick and mortar go up is all great. Especially this project that uses a lot of very environmental friendly materials. The construction is amazing, but it really boils down to the location. Housing is about access to opportunity, and for low and moderate income people, the fact that they will be here, located near jobs, near amenities, that's really what makes this project even more important. Getting, to work, to school, walking, biking, getting off cars. We know how much transportation costs. We know the effect of combustion engine continues to have on our air quality in the state. So important, the intersection of all of these goals coming into play at this project. So without a question, extremely innovative, creative way to get this project going. Wendy, we're gonna rely on you and your team to give a lot of advice to people that want to follow to your steps. You know, using great location, environmentally friendly construction, exercise. I mean, it's all wrapped up in the same model that we hope others follow. So thank you for having us here, and celebrate with you. We'll come back hopefully for when the residents are welcome, which is certainly the most important thing that we look forward to. Thank you so much.
Last year, the city of Sacramento voted into office a new council member for District 4, Katie Valenzuela, who is a Midtown resident and whose commitment to addressing the issue of homelessness and environmental justice led her to public life. We knew that we would have an ally in Katie when she came on board, so I'm very pleased to introduce Katie Valenzuela.
Good morning, everybody. This is only my second public event in the 5 months that I've been sworn in, and let me tell you that I've learned a valuable lesson about wardrobe choices today, and will not be making this mistake again. But thank you so much for having me here. I have to first start off where Gustavo left off with the city's moves, and to tell you that we're only really as smart as our staff, and there's a couple of them out here today, and I just want to point out Leslie, who's there in the middle, and Danielle, who was over there. Where'd she go? There she is. Okay. Here's some brilliant folks. A lot of women who are very brilliant that I'm around, and I'm very lucky. We're very lucky that they're here. I always said during the campaign that if any city can figure out the housing and homelessness crisis, it's Sacramento. And I don't just say that because I was campaigning and trying to make everybody feel good. It's because I truly believe we have the partners and the land and the resources here to figure this out. And we are so lucky to have an administration, a governor, a team at the state who is willing to partner with us as the capital city to figure this out. We are truly blessed to have an organization like CADA. Can we all just say that for a moment? Like, can you imagine not having CADA in Sacramento? We would be a worse off city for it. And partners like Mr. Yousefi who are willing to think outside of the box and make this sort of thing happen. It's just incredible. We're so blessed. And not just to build affordable housing, right? What I love about this project is that it's going to be so beautiful, that there's attention to the details, to the materials, to the artwork that are going to be incorporated into this building, because affordable housing is a part of our community too. And when we make it beautiful, we're really just setting up the residents and the whole community to thrive. As Wendy said, homelessness has been a huge priority for us, and we've worked really hard to get safe grounds and to try to get things moving so folks can be stabilized off the street. But what we've been missing are these exact units, are the units that folks can move into when they're ready, or the units that keep someone from becoming homeless when they're starting to lose income and entering crisis. This project is going to change the lives of so many people and so many families and community members that are attached to those people. So I am truly blessed to be able to be here at the beginning of my term, and I can't wait to see it completed. Thank you all so much.
Finally, I'd like to ask CADA and CACDC board member Nick Aptus to provide a few remarks. Nick is a local land use lawyer. He specializes in land use and real estate law, and is particularly gifted in developing collaborative solutions to thorny problems. And we have been truly fortunate to have his guidance and leadership.
All right. Thank you, Wendy. And Councilmember Valenzuela, you're going to be a hard act to follow. Brevity certainly is a virtue, so I'll scuttle my my summary. I told Mr. Locomercino, the rise and fall of the Roman Empire by giving in 30 minutes. I will spare you that today. So thanks again. It's really nice to see everybody outside of a Zoom call. In fact, I'm meeting a lot of folks for the first time in person, so it is really a relief. So I'll take a little bit of sunshine, and it'll be 5 o'clock soon. So again, as Wendy mentioned, I am Nick Aptus, and I do have the distinct honor and pleasure to be one of 2 of the state of California appointees on the CADA Board of Directors, frankly, in the city that I was born and raised in, and the city that I really love. And coming from my professional life in the land use and development world, I was entering into this and continue to be keenly aware that our state continues to endure the worst affordable housing crisis in its history. My experience on the CADA board has given me deep insight into how challenging it is to build affordable housing due to scarce resources, extraordinary competition for those resources, and being of Greek descent, I will take this aside and say the word Byzantine has a certain meaning. I'll tell you, in the universe of affordable housing finance, it honestly feels like a crapshoot. And so, you know, as it has been mentioned and by others, CADA has heard and has heeded the governor's call for aggressive actions to support the development of new affordable housing opportunities. Many of you are very familiar with CADA and what it is. It is a joint powers authority, a joint powers agency formed by the state of California and the city of Sacramento over 40 years ago. And it's a government entity that really offers a unique toolkit to streamline paths toward the creation of new affordable housing opportunities in our city. Specifically, we have the ability to muster public resources that make affordable housing projects a reality. And someone like myself, whose professional career has been in the private development sector, I mean, this is saying something, and it's not an overstatement, that CADA has the ability to deliver projects where the private sector alone cannot and where it will not. And, you know, to its credit, CADA has renovated or built over 1,600 residential units in the heart of our city here in downtown Sacramento. 25 of which, I may add, are affordable to low-income families. As the need for affordable housing increases with each passing day, you know, our board and our staff and our team of consultants have refocused and doubled down on our efforts and attention to delivering new units. With the completion of this project, hopefully very soon, and a second project that we are building with Cyrus, at 17th and S, we'll be adding 217 new affordable units to Sacramento's downtown core over the next 18 months. That is a really big deal. Yeah, take a moment to appreciate that. So again, as a board, as an organization, we are very, very grateful to the state's partnership, particularly Jason and the folks at DGS are continuing an ongoing strong relationship. You know, as we look beyond this project, CADA stands ready and willing and able to muster its unique resources, the ability to streamline processes and lead times that traditionally are needed to bring concepts to reality, at least in this market. And at CADA, we continue to lead by example. We are encouraged by our anticipated success with this project and hope that it fosters even greater opportunities in collaboration with our state partners at DGS, HCD, and others, as well as our private sector partners. With these strong and ongoing relationships and partnerships, we at CADA look forward to building more housing and doing our part to attempt to respond to the issues of providing more affordable housing for those in need in our community. So thank you again for being here today. To the men and women of CADA who are in the front lines and in the trenches, and thank you for your tireless work and effort to make this project and others a reality. As Katie said, Councilmember Vanessa said, CADA really is a special gift to this region and this city, and I don't think there are a lot of folks outside of these circles that may understand or appreciate the great value that it does serve for our community. So today is really an acknowledgement of these efforts. They can work. Let us take a moment to appreciate it, to celebrate it, but most importantly, to learn from it and move forward with deliberate focus and purpose to new opportunities for the sake of our community, for the sake of our neighbors, for the sake of our city, and for the sake of our state. The government can make a difference, and this is a perfect example today. Thank you very much. Look forward to some shade. Thank you.
So, in conclusion, over the last 4 months, as we struggled to pull the pieces and parts of this project together, my constant refrain has been, why is this so difficult, and what kind of crazy people do this? So, in that regard, I'd like to introduce a few crazy people on my team. Tom Kiger, our project manager, who is smart enough to wear a hat today. Renee Funston, our development manager, who has 1,000 balls in the air at any given time. Renee. The hardest working lawyer in Sacramento, Amara Harrell. I don't think she's asleep anymore. And her partner and our general counsel, Jeff Mitchell. And, not last and not least at all, the indomitable lawyer and pro forma master Patrick Sablehouse and his capable team. Also a shout out to Noah Painter, who is the backroom performer guy. Thank you all. I'd like to thank our musician who, after I stop talking, you'll get to hear of. I think it's going to be more pleasant than listening to me. Dinorah Entertainment, and our artist, Franceska Gamez. I hope you enjoy their work. And finally, Karen Yula, who is so wonderful at pulling these events together. Thank you, folks. Have a great day. We have lunch, too.
So if I emailed you and told you that you're in a photo op, please head over to the planner box and we'll shout out the different groups that are going to be photographed. Everybody else, you can hit the table and get some food and drinks.
Yeah, I mean, this one took less than 2 years to put together, and it felt like five years from 1 minute. You
guys could actually shovel some dirt out. I'll clean it up. Yeah, throw it out.
Yeah. It's exciting now.
Make it rain dirt.
All right, state in the city, elected officials, DGS, HCD, and CADA board members. Please do another group shot here.
Yeah, we're going to have this event there, so.
I have pictures for you.
It's like just 2 minutes. Right there, market.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, they finally cleared that site off.
Financing team? Through the financing team? DGS, HCD, and CADA board members is what it said, elected officials. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, financing team is DGS, HCD, WNC, Chase, Cal, HFA, TCAC, and Steve.
West Air.
I knew I wanted to get my 2 minutes to finish it. I really missed this. I had a job okay. I mean, I won't. Especially I would. Oh, well, we kind of met. We go way back. Actually, so do me and you.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah, yeah.
So it's also. We got a lot of good stuff done on West Capitol Avenue and all over the place over here. So here I am. I'm honored to be invited. Oh, that's great. So, as you might imagine, I got a little piece of dirt under us. Just check out. Excellent. Good to go. Yeah. Exactly. There's supposed to be a process. I need to be in a small world. I just got
Okay, now it's the development team, CADA board members, CFY, Sablehouse Law, KMP Strategies, KMTG.
I can look it up for you.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I think I know what Are you going on any of your trips with your
not in the near term. We've only done a couple of small things.
It's quite hot. All right, at least I'm white on top.